Hello, I'm Phil Earle. I am the author of While the Storm Rages. I am the author of, 22 books now. I've been writing for about 20 years. And some of the books that you might recognise are books like Demolition Dad and When the Sky Falls, and then, of course, the book club choice, While the Storm Rages. So the book starts in late August 1939. War is about to break out, and Noah, our hero, he sees his dad march off to war. And his dad asks him before he goes to keep him a promise. He said, "Son, you're the man of the house now. Behave yourself," because Noah's always getting in trouble. He's not a bad lad, he's just a bit daft sometimes. "Look after your mum, stay out of trouble, and whatever you do, keep the family dog, Win, safe. If you can keep Win safe, then I'll be alright, mate, while I'm fighting. It'll be like I'm bulletproof. I'll come back from the war safe." Fast forward on 2 weeks after Noah's made this promise to his dad, and this little booklet arrives through their door, and it tells Noah that he has to have his animal put to sleep. And Noah's world kind of collapses because he feels like if he can't keep Win the dog safe, then his dad won't be safe fighting either. So behind his mum's back, he hatches a plan, and his plan is to save as many animals as he possibly can. The single most important thing when you're trying to write an adventure is the pace of the story. It's really important because this book's quite long. It's over 350 pages long. So there can't be too many periods in the book where things go quiet or not a lot happens. Think about it, the way I always think about it when I'm writing a story, especially in adventure stories, I think about it like a roller coaster. Because a roller coaster should be the most single exciting ride that you've ever been on. There has to be moments of high excitement and then a chance for the reader to get their breath back and then do the same again. So for me, it's all about that roller coaster ride, replicating how it might feel to ride that Big Dipper. I think the single most important thing when writing about animals is to pack them with the same emotions that you feel as a human, as a person. It could be a tilt of the head, a sympathetic look, a sad blink of the eyes. It could be that they come up and in both of the books there's contact between animal and human, resting their head on your forehead, coming and sitting on your lap. There are so many ways that your animals in your story can still feel like really well-rounded characters. I think that books and stories can be a really great way of kind of getting used to those difficult things in life, or exploring them, or making you think a little bit about how you might handle it, how it might make you feel. It's building empathy, and empathy is so important. And so I think you can write about difficult emotions. If bad things happen and you see your character beaten up or left on the ground crying or distressed, it's seeing them brush themselves down, get up and go again that makes you fall in love with that character. So this is the very important question, the most important question I will have to answer about this book, is that if there is one snack that you should eat to accompany it, then it's nothing to do with World War II like Spam fritters or evaporated milk, anything like that. It's these, the Frazzle, the single greatest salty snack known to man. I've been addicted to these since I was 14 years old. These cost me my football career. So yeah, Frazzles. Eat Frazzles as you read this and indeed any book, but eat them responsibly. I would argue any more than 6 bags a day is frankly unhealthy, and other healthy snacks are available. If I was going to ask you readers one question about While the Storm Rages, I think it's this. If you were Noah, would you have done what he did? If you found out that your pet was going to be put to sleep, would you steal your dad's boat? Would you fill it with animals? Would you sail it down the Thames? And would you, if things started to go wrong, have the bravery to keep going? Would you dig deep? Would you find a way of overcoming every single bit of adversity that was thrown in your direction? Yeah, I think that's what the question would be. When I was 6, 7, 8, 12, 15, 16, if you'd asked me about reading, I would have said, well, it doesn't mean much to me. And I struggled. As a young person, I struggled. If you gave me this, I used to panic, because it always used to just look the same way when I opened it. When I opened it up, all I could see inside were these like walls of words. And I didn't feel smart enough or confident enough to read novels like this. But what I did read, and this is the thing that made me a reader, although I didn't realise it at the time, was this. It was a comic. It's a bit tatty now, but this is Roy the Rovers. This came through our letterbox on the 12th of December 1981, priced 16 pence. And that was 32 pages of comic strips just about football. So like this is Bunny versus Monkey. If I'd have had this when I was your age, I would have thought that I was a proper reader. And it looked like Roy the Rovers in that it was comic books inside. But this is still proper reading. Reading is about experiencing a life that isn't your own. It's about going on an adventure. It's about literally falling inside the pages of a story and becoming that person. Because when you are that person, you know, there's nowhere you can't go, and there's nothing you can't do, and there's no world you can't inhabit, no person you can't pretend to be. And they're 4 great reasons to read. If you do enjoy stories about World War II, I can absolutely wholeheartedly recommend Valley of Lost Secrets by Leslie Parr. Now, this was Leslie's first book. This was her debut. But when I read this book, it literally blew me socks off because it felt like she'd been writing for years. The 2 boy characters, the brothers, and she introduces them in chapter 1. By the end of that first chapter, I was completely and utterly in love with them. She writes beautifully, and it's a really exciting story about 2 evacuee brothers sent out to live in a Welsh valley. But in this little Welsh town, there are some secrets hidden that you start to learn about as the pages turn, and I cannot recommend this highly enough. It is brilliant. Valley of Lost Secrets, Leslie Parr. Let me also tell you about October, this beautifully glistening book. Look at that. This is by Katja Balin. It's all about a little girl, unusually called October, and October lives a quite wild life. She lives in the woods, kind of off-grid with her dad. And one day something happens to Dad. He has an accident, and October is forced to go and live in the city with her mother, who she's not seen for some years. And the book is about how she adapts to life there and how she starts to build a relationship with this mum that she's not seen for quite some time. It is so beautiful. Yeah, I'd recommend it. That's October by Katja Balin. And finally, I want to recommend the book that influenced this one, which is Catherine Rundell's The Good Thieves. And this is an adventure story set in 1940s America. I think it's 1940s anyway. About a young girl and some friends that she makes who are part of a circus troupe. And they go on this crazy, dangerous adventure to try and reclaim something that has been stolen from this girl's elderly and frail grandfather. It is amazing. If I hadn't have read this book, then I couldn't have written this one. And I can't write like Catherine, but I really wanted to try. So I read this, and then I wrote this. So yeah, Catherine Rundell's The Good Thieves, Katja Balin's October, Leslie Parr's Valley of Lost Secrets. 3 absolute crackers. Get stuck in. So that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me be part of your World Book Day book club. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. I really hope that there's something in this book that you'll find to love. And if there isn't something in this book, I promise you there will be something in another book that will excite you and will open that door to reading.